Hello everyone, today's video is about the conditional filtering on Wix sites. But before we get started, please get your favorite beverage ready because this is gonna be a long video. I'll put the chapters of this video in the description box down below, so without further ado, let's get started. In today's video, we are going to demonstrate how to filter the results from Wix Stores product collection by two ways. The first way will be the dataset filter, and the second one will be the data binding filtering. So let's get started with the dataset filtering since it's easier and simpler. Let's start that by adding a dataset to the workspace and connect it to the products collection under Wix Stores. So products, and I'm going to rename it to products to make the name shorter here. Now let's connect the repeater to the dataset. We are going to show only the formatted price in the dataset, but we are going to show both of them or one of them using the data binding. So make sure you continue watching the video. Now after we connect all the elements in the repeater to the dataset, now we need to add the code that will actually filter the results here. So to do so, if the development mode is not enabled, you can hover over the dev mode here and turn on dev mode. Now let's start by importing Wix data and declaring a function to filter the dataset. I called it filter dataset. Now I'm going to declare a variable called filter, which will store the default value of the filter, which is wixdata.filter, and another variable for sorting, which will store the value of wixdata.sort. Now I'm going to declare another variable, which is the value of the input field here. So in this input field, visitors will be able to search the products by the product name or by the stock keeping unit, by its stock keeping unit. So the product name must contain the product name or must exactly equal to the stock keeping unit. So in this case, the search value will be equal to the value of that input field, which is search bar dataset dot value, and we need another one, sort value, for the value of the sort, of the drop-down sort here. You can go without declaring a variable for each one, but to make the code easier and more readable, I went with declaring variables for each one. So in this case, the sort dataset. Now, before we apply the product name or the stock keeping unit, before we apply the value from this input field, we need to check first if this input field has a value. So to do so, we need to check the value if it's greater than 0 or not. So in this case, search value, which we already declared here on line 6, which is the search bar dataset dot value. So if search value dot length is greater than 0, then that means the input field has a value, and in which case we need to filter based on that value. So filter will equal to filter dot contains, this is the input, this is the field that we need to that we want to compare the current value with the product name. So the product name and the value, which is the search value. Now this code will make the input field search for products that contains in their name the search value which we inserted in the input field. But we also want to search by the stock keeping unit. So to do so, we also need to introduce an OR filter.eq, because we want the value stock keeping unit to exactly equal to. So stock keeping unit is KU is the field name of the stock keeping unit, and the search value will be used to compare the stock keeping unit in products with the current search value. Now we have the search, or the code that will search by the product name or the stock keeping unit value. Now to sort, we don't need to check whether the sort has a value or not, because it will always have a value. So we just need to check what value is selected and sort the dataset accordingly. So to do so, we are going to use a switch statement with the sort value, and we have 4 cases. The first case is sorting the products by name A to Z, name Z to A, price low to high, and price high to low. I predefined some values here that I'm going to use in my code. So first of all, I'm going to check, and this is the first case, which is A to Z. I'm going to write this below the case thing to make it clear, and sort will be equal to sort dot ascending name break. And let's go to the next case, which is Z to A. Sort is equal to sort dot descending name. This next case is price ASE, which is price from low to high. Sort is equal to sort dot ascending price. Price is the field ID that holds the price in the dataset, in the collection. The final case is price DSE, sort is equal to sort dot descending and that's it. Now we are sorting. The sort is ready and the filter is ready. Now the only thing remains is to apply the filter and the sort. So to apply the filter and the sort on the dataset, first of all, I'm going to rename the dataset ID to ds to make it shorter, and ds set filter. Filter is our variable that we declared above here. So this code will filter the dataset using our filter that we declared previously. Then, after we filter the dataset, what we want to do is sort the dataset. So set sort with our sort that we declared. Now the function that will filter the dataset is ready. Now how are we supposed to call it? Well, we want to call it when we type in a value in the product name or the SKU input field, or when we change the sort value from this drop down. So to do so, we first need to run this code when the page is ready. So when the page is ready, I want to run a code on the search dataset input. This code will run each time an input is called on this input field. So on input, and this will call the filter dataset function. When we input something on the search bar dataset, the filter dataset function will be called each time we input something in this input field. But we also want to filter and sort the dataset when the value of the sort dataset is changed. So to do so, we need to run an event handler on the sort dataset, which is the onChange event handler. I don't need the event parameter, so I'm going to call the filter dataset immediately. And that's all the code that we need. Let's try it. First of all, I'm going to search by a portion of the names, let's say A, and see what products in their name has the letter A or contains the letter A. Let's search for fork, for example, and the fork is here. Laptop, and now let's sort the dataset. Let's sort it by name, Z to A, and it is sorted. Now let's sort it by price, low to high, and it is sorted correctly. And the final one is high to low, and it is sorted correctly. Now let's go to let's filter the product details without using a dataset, only by using the data binding. So let's do that. Now let's go to the data binding filtering, which is more flexible. We are going to filter the products based on their collection and whether if they are in stock or not. So in the repeater, we are going to use another value which will tell if the product is in stock or not. So let's do that. Let's add a checkbox. And rename it to in stock. It's not checked by default. And I'm going to put it here down below. And stock keeping unit will be next to it. I'm going to delete this one. This one will be, I will rename its ID to is in stock, and it is enabled, of course. This one, the price is called, the ID of this input field is price. I'm going to rename it to price 2. And this one is product image. Okay, so, and the repeater is called rep. Let's do that. First, we need to get the collection, the collections of products, all the possible collection. We need to grab them. So to do so, I'm going to create a backend module. I'm going to call it store, and I'm going to import Wix data and create a function, and make sure to include the export. Otherwise, the front end will not be able to call this function from the backend. So export function get collections, and we are going to return a Wix data query from the stores collection. We need to get its name from here, stores collections, and I'm going to limit. By default it will get 50. I'm going to request 100. We don't have 100, we only have, I believe, 5 or 6, but anyway, dot find. We don't need suppress authentication in this case because the product has a read permission for everyone. So then results, there will always be a collection. So let's declare a variable called collections, or not collections, let's call it items, equal to results.items. Now let's declare, or no, we don't need it. I'm going to declare a collections array, which will be an empty array, and I'm going to run a for each loop on the items. So results dot for each item results dot item. So, and I'm not going to call it item, I'm going to call it collection. So now we need to push a new object inside the collections array. So the label, because we need labels and values to assign the array to as the options of the drop-down menu. So the label will be the collection dot name, and the value will also be the collection dot name. And after that, we need to return collections. Yeah. Now we need to import this function to our page on the front end. Let's do that. Import. This is the function name, which is get collections. We are going to import it from backend /store.jsw, and we are going to just give me a second. Data binding section. Now get collections. We are going to call the function. We don't need the page to await the results, because it doesn't matter if it loads after a second or two. Then collections and collections dot options are equal to our collections array. So store. To see what I mean, let's take a look. These are all the possible collections in Wix Stores collections. These are all the collections. We have home and kitchen, electronics, and clothes. It's empty. As you can see, it's empty. It's populated by code, by this function on the back end, and this 2 or 3 lines of code. Now, once we have the collections on our drop-down menu, we need to create a search function similar to the filter dataset one, but different. So let's call function search. Let's call just search, and I want to know, because now we have the search bar value, the collection value, and the sort name value, and only show in stock products. So the in stock, I believe, is searchable using data. The in stock, yes. In stock cannot be sorted and cannot be filtered. So let's try. Let's try by calling let's try by declaring some variables for our values here. So let search is equal to search bar dot value, and let collection equal to also collections dot value, and sort is sort dot value. And finally, the only in stock thing is only in stock is equal to only on in stock dot checked. Now we have all the values. We need to populate the search. So I'm going to rename this to search results, or not search results, search products. And I'm going to create another function on the backend to search and data. I'm going to pass it a data object, and I'm going to import the search function as well. Okay, so I'm going to now call this search function with these. So no, I'm going to change it to let request is equal to a new object which has a search of the search value and the collection with this, with the collection value, and the sort with the sort value, and finally this boolean. And pass the request object to the search function. Then the results, that's when the function resolves to a result, and here we need to handle the rejection. So let's get back to the search function. I'm going to copy this and paste it here. I'm not going to use it, but just for reference. Okay, now we need to search. Let's define a query. And we are going to search the products collection. First, we are going to check the collection if request dot collection to make sure that we always have a selected value, which is all products, I'm going to select the first index, which is all products. This way we always have a collection in our search function. So as sum the collections which is request dot collection. Okay, this is the default one. Now we are going to check whether the search value actually has a value. So as in the dataset filtering, request dot search dot length is if it's greater than 0, then query is equal to query dot eq name request dot search. Oh, sorry, not eq, contains. We don't want to exactly. We don't necessarily want the name, the product name, to exactly match the product name. We want to be able to write a portion of that name and making that product appear as a result. So query is equal to query that contains name with the value of request dot search, or query dot eq sku with the request dot search. Okay, now we are done with the search and we are done with the collection, and now we just need to check whether the only in stock is checked or not. So if request dot only in stock, if request only in stock, what we are going to use is actually I'm going to use it before this one. Yeah, so we're going to use it here. And here we are going to check if requested only in stock is marked to be query dot eq and stock is true. And stock is true. That's of course, yeah, that's why we need to use it before we check the search term. Sorry about it. Now everything is populated, but we only lacked the sort. Now we are going to use yet another switch with the request dot sort And first case is A to Z. Let's save some time by copying this switch. Request.sort and query is equal to query.ascending. Now, after all of this is done, after the filter is done and the sorting is done, we need to return query.find. We need to return query.find results. Okay, if results.length is greater than 0, we want to return the items, the matching products. And if there is no matching products, we need to return an empty array. And of course, we need to return a promise. Forgot to resolve. And also promise.resolve empty array. But if we ran into some issues, we need to return promise. We want to reject the promise with the provided error. So right now, here, we need to print the error to the console so we can know what's going on. And if there is nothing, let's check here if results dot length is greater than 0. If they are greater than 0, then we want to assign the items, the returned items, on the repeater data results. Okay. Of course, before all of this is done, we want to empty the repeater. We want to empty the repeater, and if results.length, if there is no results returned, we want to show a message, which is, I'm going to write an error message here. No matching results found. And I'm going to set it to be collapsed. I'm going to rename it to error, or not error, I'm going to rename it to message. So also we need to collapse if the message is not collapsed, we want to collapse it. And here, because this element, it will display many messages depending on the situation. So we are going to set its text value by code. And now we need to expand it. See? And also here, but here we're going to use a custom message, which is an error message is the error message returned from the backend. So we can see the error message on the console. We can see it printed on the console, or we can see it here. So now the search function is present. Now we want to write this repeaters on item ready function. This function will tell the repeater what to do with the data that were fetched from the server. So let's do that, and I'm going to use products and data parameters. And this product image, I'm going to see if data.main media. That means if there is an image, we want the image, the product image, to be the data.main media. Okay, now the same image, if there is no image, we can set it to, if there is no image, we can set a default image to be loaded. So if there is no image, the controller image will remain on the page. But we also need to set the product image elt to the product name, and the product name dot tooltip as well to your product name. I'm going to change this to product as well. To make it more sense when you read the code. And also we want to make the target open in new tab. What we want to open in the new tab, the link, which is product page URL, and we don't want the image to look weird, so fit mode will be equal to fit. Okay, now we are done with the product image. I'm going to show you a trick for the name. I'm going to show you a trick for the name to not overlap with two rows. So it is a trick, but it will not always work. So let's see how it goes. If product dot name dot length is greater than 50 characters, what we want to do is setting the name, the product name to be what? Data, no, sorry, not data, product dot name dot 0 to 50. We want to display only the first 50 characters of that name if its length is more than 50 characters. So, and with a little nice 3 dots, so it will be displayed like this. Like this instead of laptop. Nice, huh? And if the product name is not longer than 50, we just want to show the product name. Okay, now the price. Here's the tricky one. Okay, so we want to check whether the product, is on sale or not. To do so, we need to check the discounted price first. If discounted price is more than 0, so we need to show on the price field the discounted price, the formatted discounted price. So let's show the formatted, text equal to product dot okay, and if not, we want to show the regular formatted price. We can do this too. Can make it, for example, product formatted discounted price instead of the product formatted price, but it will be long. I'm not sure. Or let's try it. Let's see how it looks. If it looks good, then we'll leave it. Of course, we don't have any product that is on sale, but I'm going to put one on sale to see how it goes here. Now the in stock, if product dot in stock, what do we want to do? In stock dot checked is equal to true. Of course, sorry, I use the global selector here. Product, okay, but I'm going to set. Let me try something. I'm going to disable it by default because I don't want the customers to click on the checkbox. I only want to display the value. not necessarily allow them to click on. Oh, we don't need it. Sorry, we don't need it. I can make another field here and call it in stock, and I'm going to check how many times I used it. I'm going to show a message saying in stock. Otherwise, I want to show a message saying that it is out of stock. Out of stock. Of course, we can use the HTML method here instead of text and personalize the out of stock, for example, with a red color and the in stock with a green color, for example, and the price we can gray out the discounted we can gray out the formatted price and highlight the discounted price. We can do a lot of things with the HTML method, but for now I'm going to use the text method to make the tutorial easier. So this one will be in stock, and the stock keeping unit, we are going first to check whether the product has a stock keeping unit or not. So if product.sku if the product does not have an SKU or it is maintaining variants, I'm going to say I'm going to delete this one and check whether is managing variants or not. We will let the visitor know that there is variance. So vary will vary. Okay, so also if there is stock keeping unit, I'm going to do this as well. I'm not going to let it equal to the SKU yet. Oh no, yeah, I will, but I meant the stock, the in stock. So if product is in stock, I'm going first to check if this product is tracking the inventory or not. If it is tracking the inventory, so if it's not tracking the inventory, we are just going to say in stock or not. Okay, but if it is tracking inventory, what we are going to do is the following. We want to show how many in stock. So first of all, product items in stock. So here we are going to display how many items in stock, and that's it. Okay, so now of course we are going to populate the items once the page is ready. So we need to await for the search products function and changing the onReady to an async function. Let's see for now. No matching results found. Okay, here's what went wrong before. In the backend function, I forgot to include query equal to query, and yeah, and also in front end I want to change something in the repeater. So where is the in stock and the out of stock? Here, product dot discounted price. If it is less than the product dot price, I want to show this. If it's not, just show the formatted price. Let's take a look. Of course, nothing is showing here. In stock, out of stock, in stock, out of stock, in stock, and we can't currently search for anything because we have not configured any event handler. So the event handlers should be easy, just like that. Let's see, we want to add an input on input event handler on the search bar. On input, what we want to do on input is search products. Also, on change of the collections and the sort and the only in stock. So on change of the collections input and the sort input field and this boolean, I want to write an onChange event handler that will run once one of these has changed, which is search products. So now all event handlers are configured with only 2 rows. Okay, let's try it. For example, I'm not sure that this one will work, but let's try it out. Okay, so turns out that we cannot filter the in stock, so we are going old-fashioned. Now we're going old-fashioned, and go to the backend function and check here if the request dot only in stock is chosen here on the results. If it's not chosen, just return the items as they are, right? We want to return the items, all the items if the only in stock is not chosen. If it is chosen, we're going to run another. So let items equal to an empty array, and we will run a for each. We will run a for each loop on the result of items for each product. Okay, and check if product dot in stock. If product is in stock, what we want to do is add or push that product into the new array. And after that, we are going to check whether the new array has any products that are in stock to return. And if it doesn't have any product, we want to return promise with an empty array. So let's see. Oh, sorry, I forgot to delete that line. This one. So the in stock boolean cannot be used in data binding or data sets. So let's try it out now. Okay, we have in stock, out of stock, in stock, and out of stock. So we have 1, 2, 3 products in stock, and indeed it is working. And if we did not choose the in stock to show only the in stock products, it will show all the products. Now let's test the collection. Let's say by home and kitchen. Come on. Oh, no matching results found. Okay, now we are talking. So let's search by this stock keeping unit. Okay. And what if I choose to only show okay, let's see this one. Let's search by this one and then apply the only show in stock products. No matching results found. Let's from high to low and delete this one. Here it goes. Yeah, the only thing remains is the collection thing that I'm going to check on this page from Wix whether it's possible or not on this page, Can connect to data? No. Can be sorted? No. However, it can be filtered. I missed that one on my previous example. I thought that it cannot be filtered, but it obviously can. But cannot be filtered by data with the data binding. So let's click on this product to go directly to the product page, and that's it for our example. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you didn't like the video, you know what to do. But if you did, hit like, get subscribed, maybe check out our website for more tutorials and examples, and our community forum, which you should definitely join. Oh, and don't forget to leave a comment too.